Hi guys, and welcome to today's task. For today's task, we are going to be redoing this faceplate. Maybe you've got a faceplate in your house that is cracked or broken and not sitting correctly in the wall. And had I known what I know now when I put this in, this wouldn't have done this in the first place. So what do you mean it's cracked? It's got cracks here and here, and it's cracked there for a reason. We're going to start by taking this old plate off, and I'll show you where the problem really is. And this is definitely a task I don't use a drill for, typically. I do recommend, if you're taking this plate off, say it's an original plate or it's a really old plate with painting that's been like kind of brought to the edge, definitely take a razor knife and score it before you take it off. If not, it can tear that paint out. This is what we call a 3-gang box. Each switch or outlet is called a gang. And the reason it was broke there is because it got screwed down too tight here to begin with. I was trying to make everything look a little more flush and even, and realistically, these are really flush and really even, but I sucked it in too tight on 2 of these, and it just doesn't need to be that secure. Finesse goes a long ways, and that's something I'm learning over many years of building, is that doing it the hardest, the fastest, and making sure it's just as tight as you can isn't always really the best protocol, especially when it comes with finish work. I did take a rag and wipe this down just a little bit, just because it gets a little dirty behind there, and cleaned it up since it's exposed, and we're going to line it back up again with a new one. But what I want to show you is the brand, or at least the type of wall plate that I get. These are considered Unbreakable. So if you go to like Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, you'll see wall plates all over the place. There are some that are significantly cheaper. There are some that are significantly more, maybe because they're really oversized, they're metal, or they're decorative or whatnot. This is a reasonable price, and these are the ones I will put in any home or outlet I work on from here on out, is because they're unbreakable within reason. Old plates, if you tightened it down just slightly, the whole thing would shatter on you. I don't know what the buildup is, but these are more of a plasticky, flexible, nylon kind of stuff. I also get the oversized every single time. I never get the exact size, because an exact size one comes to like right here on there, whereas this one overshadows it by a ½ inch above and below that. So you can have a little more play here and cover a little bit better. So I like the oversized ones. What I do recommend is if you buy one type, stick with it in the rest of the house so they look even throughout the entire house. So here's a little tip for this. Get all your screws set in first. It comes with 6 screws. Do not lose them, but push them in and they'll pop in. And there's the little hole that's in there it's kind of a triangle, and those little edges will hold the screws tight. So you can get all the screws in. Now, as simple as that, we set it on, start lining up your screws, and I recommend using the small flathead tip. The large one sometimes can scuff the corners of this. So use the small one, get it started. Once you get one just started with a couple of threads, go to the next one, go to the next one, keep working your way around, and keep going. Now, the problem we had last time was over tightening on this particular middle one. So once you get them all started, push it to the wall where you want it, and then start snugging them up. Rule of thumb for me is I always like them facing up and down. I feel like it's the least conspicuous, I guess, on the wall. Those other ones were clearly too tight. And there we go. It's not shifting anywhere, it's not moving anywhere. Switches are all good to go. And there you go. The faceplate is changed. It's really that simple. If you've got one that's got a broken corner or something like that, go replace it. These Eton Unbreakable wall plates are really the ones I like. And you'll see when you get to the stores, they're really not much more. Maybe about 30 cents. And that does kind of add up, but buying 2 of those cheaper ones that break easy costs more than 1 of these. So that's how I look at it. Spend a little bit more on the nicer one in the first place, and it'll be all right. Don't be an idiot and over tighten things and suck it down as hard as you possibly can. That was the whole reason this one broke. But if you look, it's not broken in the back. It just kind of flexed too much in the front. So these are pretty unbreakable for the most part. Like the normal, typical ones cannot do that for the life of them. So these are really actually a great brand to buy and a good way to upgrade them, make them look nice and clean. And if your switches, these switches aren't very old, but if your switches are really old and they look pretty bad, replace the switch too. It's a great way to just kind of bring a room up to kind of this age and let it look a little bit nicer, give you some nice trim out. You guys, that is a very simple task, but it's one that's bothered me in this bathroom for a long time, and I just haven't done anything about it. So if you've got one that's broken, a faceplate, maybe an outlet plate or something like that, go change it, make it look a little bit better, and take 10 minutes. I mean, it was honestly that simple to change this. Until next time, we'll see you guys later. Let's see. There's no like half link on this thing. You gotta turn the volume down, sweetie. Hi guys, and welcome to today's tab. And if you're... Boys, Boston! What was that? Dummy Joe. Boys, I don't want to hear you talking. Leave Lincoln alone. Lincoln, get helping. But listen to me. I can't have you guys just keep working and worry about getting the job done rather than who's doing it. And they can flex. They can, you guys, that is a simple task. Okay, a broken, I will link this screwdriver because do not get rid of these screws. These screws are like gold. Oh, almost lost one down the drain. I will link this screwdriver because it is the greatest tool in my electrical series of tools that I own. It's like a dime bag of screws.